she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off, to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept, and she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, "Take this child away, and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages." And the woman took the child, and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and she said, "Because I drew him out of the water."
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today is the book of Esther, chapter 2. And when we go into the book of Esther, chapter 2, we see honor, before humility. Esther, is a great example, as, the Lord likens, Israel to a tender and delicate woman. The scriptures, use the analogy of, us being the wife, the bride of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Esther is a great example, of conduct, for the church. All right. And, for women, in general, so we read these, we get these accounts, of our forefathers, our foremothers, all right, that we have recorded, for us to learn, all right, for us, to draw perspectives from in the spirit, okay, and apply these things to our walk, okay. And the Bible is full of stories of, our forefathers, some of our foremothers, that they will have to go through humility before honor. Okay. You go to Joseph. All right. He had to be wrongfully imprisoned, before he, rose to honor. Okay. King David, had to be on the run, pretty much homeless. Okay. Before he was honored, the king of Israel, all tribes. Okay. You had Daniel, persecuted, before he was honored. So the theme of honor before humility is a common theme, and there's many other, accounts as well, just naming a few. Okay, but honor before humility is a common thing, and as we see that we're at the end, all right, of this man's empire, Esau, Edom, that there's going to be persecution. All right, we're going to be lied on, we're going to be slandered. Okay, as you can see, somehow, some way. Okay, we're blamed for everything, even amongst those that know that they're Israelites somehow, the body, of GMS, and the true affiliates, which in my humble opinion, okay, is the dwelling place of the spirit of Yahweh Shai. That's why we take so much slack, okay? And just as Yahweh Shai, he was humble, okay, before his honor, spat upon, made mockery of as a because that crucifixion, you go into it, that was like a mockery coronation of a king, the crown of thorns. Okay, they put a robe on him. Okay, that was like a mockery coronation. Okay, which you would get that word, in this lesson of Razazar. Okay, but after, he rose with all power. You see, he was taken to the Father and given everything. So we have to understand that this is the part of the story that we're at. All right, well, we're gonna have to deal with the humility, before the honor. And the Lord, He gradually, allows us to go through different phases of humility. Okay, because even amongst our people, just as men, us not getting the line, okay, is a thing of humility amongst our people. Jay like to roast on the line. Okay, us having a standard. You see, us not dealing with married women. All those things are forms of humility because righteousness is mockery amongst our people. Okay, so the Lord gradually, you women, being in order. Okay, you might have to deal with a man, and you're not the only woman. Well, that's in this society, even though there's righteous. Okay, well, they could be looked at as mockery. Okay, but the honor that comes on the other side, all right, is gonna far outweigh any mockery that we go through. Okay, on this side, man. Okay, so let's get into it. So this is the book of Salaki. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 1. Now remember, uh, Vashti, okay, which was an example of how not to be. Okay, rebellious, proud, thought herself, to be far more important than what she was. Okay, she was an embarrassment to the king. Okay, which we played that role as a nation. We was an embarrassment to the king. All right, she got her banished. She got demoted. Okay, she lost those titles, just as we lost the title of Israel. Okay, we became all these bywords in the earth. You see, but now, all right, favor has been opened up, and as we begin to show a conduct that's pleasing to our power, all right, the Lord's allowing us back into their favor. Okay, the spirit of Vashti got us banished, but the spirit of Esther is giving us grace. Okay, that obedient, humble, selflessness. Okay, which you're gonna go into all that. So this is Abarazazar. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, but after Xerxes' anger had subsided, he began thinking about Vashti and what she had done and the decree he had made. So his personal attendant suggested, let us search, all right, the empire to find beautiful young virgins for the king. Let the king appoint agents in each province to bring these beautiful young women into the royal harem, all right, at the fortress of Susa, all right, Higai. It says, Haggai, the king's eunuch in charge of the harem, will see that they are all given beauty treatments. Okay, so this is like a ancient world love of Xerxes. You're going to get these women from all throughout that land, that province, the best of the best. And brothers also, have that mindset, hey, the Lord won't give us the best of the best. We finna get the earth. Okay, we shouldn't be uptight for nothing. All right, we definitely shouldn't be chasing a goddamn thing. Okay, because when Yahweh Shai comes, we're going to get that king treatment. We're going to get the best of the best throughout the earth. Okay, it's going to be a search throughout the earth, for the best of the best for brothers, man. Okay, because if a heathen king has it like this, how we're going to have it? Just to throw their perspective out there. you know. Uh, uh, so this verse 4 says, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be, yeah, matter of fact, before I get that, just to prove that point, let's get that in the book of Psalms, chapter 37. Okay, in verse 4, it says, well, I started at verse 3. Psalms 37:3. It says, trust in the Lord and do good, then you will live safely in the land and prosper. Okay, so we should be focused on trusting in the Lord and doing good. Okay, and let everything else take care of itself, man. Yahweh Shai got us, man. We're not going to be disappointed with the rewards Yahweh Shai has coming, all right, for his elect, man. Beginning with those first fruits. We're not going to be disappointed. We finna prosper. Okay, we was put in this captivity to suffer, but now We're going through this last phase of humility before we prosper, man. Okay? It says, verse 4, delight thyself also in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. And this should be our delight, man. This truth. Okay? The ability the Lord has given us to teach, edifying, the body, building up. This is nation building, man. The minds of the elect being built up to endure these times and be delivered, man. Okay? This is nation building, man. This should be our delight. Okay? This should be our thing. Okay? And it says, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Okay? And he shall give thee the desires of thy heart, man. And there's no gift like a gift that's given by Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay? And the Lord understands our desires better than us, man. Okay? So we in a position to where like, nah, man, hey, we're gonna get the best of the best. Yahweh Shai gonna make sure of it, man. You see? Verse 5, it says, commit thy way unto the Lord. So delighting ourselves in the Lord and committing ourselves to this, man. This the real grind. Jake talking about they grinding, ain't been sleeping, chasing this. Nah, we should be chasing Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, committing ourselves to this. And everything else gonna chase us, man. And it says, commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass, man. And we believe in that wholeheartedly, man. So going back to the book of Esther, so it's just a thing of patience, like really having that patience, man. This is second this is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 4. It says, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. All right. Now in Shushan, in the palace, where the Jew, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. And I wondered that might be a different one, because I remember it was a Sheamite, which goes into renown. Oh, that's heavy. You go into those names. Well, it's the lineage he comes from. Well, you don't know which one it is exactly, because I know the house of Saul had a Sheamite, but it goes into renown. It's heavy. And Lord will, we endure. We're going to be renowned. We're going to be those renowned men. Okay, you go into the name. All right, Mordecai. What you go into the Hebrew. All right, it's Mardukayah, okay, which means little man or worshiper, okay, which right now, we're considered little, but we're gonna see Mordecai come up through the ranks. You see, yeah, I have to go through that. It's interesting. I want to go through that lineage later on. Avaratazar. Try to trace that back. But so going back into it, so now we see Mordecai, being introduced on the scene, which he plays a major part. And it could have easily been, the book of Mordecai, but either way, the way Esther played it, her humility is a thing of note. Her selflessness is a thing of note. As I just, read this chapter before the lesson, but her selflessness is a thing for note, like I say, for the church as a whole, and especially, for women, all right, they're looking for a perspective of how to be, So reading on, it says, verse 6, it says, his family had been among those who, with King Jehoiakim of Judah, had been exiled from Jerusalem to Babylon by King Nebuchadnezzar. This man had a beautiful and young, had a beautiful and lovely young cousin, Hadassah, all right, which her names go back to a myrtle tree in the Hebrew. It says, who was also called Esther. All right, when her father and mother died, Mordecai adopted her into his family and raised her as his own daughter. As a result of the king's decree, Esther, along with many other young women, was brought to the king's harem at the fortress of Shushan and placed in Haggai's care. Haggai was very impressed with Esther and treated her kindly. He quickly ordered a special menu for her and provided her with beauty treatments. He also assigned her 7 maids, especially chosen from the king's palace, and he moved her and her maids into the best place in the harem. So she began her preparation, okay, to go deal with the king. All right, because it's not a, this is not a thing, this society where you got hookup culture, swipe left, swipe right, y'all a few inboxes and y'all meet up that night. Okay, nah, it was an extensive preparation, and that's us being the bride of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. We're beginning this extensive preparation, all right, to be compatible with the king. Okay, because as she's being chosen as a candidate, all right, which the scriptures go into that, you know, she starts to going through the motions. Is that Matthew 22 and yep, it's a process. So this is Matthew 22 and 9. It says, "Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, be it to the marriage." This is a commission for Yahweh Shai for us to go out and teach to the camps. It's a commandment, and also it's preparing us, because that's a form of humility. Going out there in our ancient, attire, with the garments, okay, and in these chief place of concourse where you see, your old classmates, you can see your supervisor, you can see, your family, Eve seeing those, and the woman looking at you crazy, like it's a process the Lord got us going through being out there. Their willingness to put ourselves out there, man. But it's pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, you know. So going into it says, "So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests," because we don't control, who comes, and tries to be a part of this thing. You got some people that's insincere, that that's here, to be a part of something different. Okay, and then you got those that sincerely believe, that's tapped in, the good and the bad. Okay, but we're commissioned to go and teach. It says, and I'm gonna jump down, to verse 14. So we've been called to teach. When you jump to verse 14, it says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." So we know we have called, but we're constantly going through the process and pray that we're chosen. So Esther was called, and she began to go through the process of preparation. All right, but she still has yet to be chosen. Which we're gonna get into. So with us, we've been called into this thing. This is why, just because we, okay, are able to go teach, the Lord has allowed us to be in the camp. We shouldn't be proud. We just know that we're called, and we really have to look at it as a responsibility and not a leverage to boast. Like, nah, we have an opportunity. Take advantage of this opportunity. Make good of this opportunity, man. Okay? Yeah, take every advantage to be an asset, not to be a liability in this thing. Not to take this thing for granted in any way, knowing that we called, but we're fighting to be chosen. We're enduring to be chosen. Okay? So now we see Esther, begin to start the process, okay, that she's been called. All right, as we begun our process, and being called. All right, so let's go back to Esther chapter 2, okay, and verse 9. Read 9 again. It says, "Haggai was very impressed with Esther and treated her kindly. He quickly ordered a special menu for her and provided her with beauty treatments. He also assigned her 7 maids, especially chosen from the king's palace, and he moved her and her maids into the best place in the harem. So she was favored. If immediately she began, to get favor. Even Daniel, because there's certain spirits that the Lord has favor on, man. Okay, because you look, I think that's Daniel, and the spirit just want me to really go into our history, man. You know, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 5, maybe 6. All right, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 6. Okay, verse 1. It said, it pleased Darius to set over, all right, the kingdom and 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was the first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. When this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, okay, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. So there's certain spirits, that the Lord just has favor on, man. Okay? And Jake think they can just wild out and do anything and get these special privileges. Well, look, you might not be one of them spirits. We might, like we can't move like we entitled to these privileges. No, just certain spirits as the Lord, right? Hey, has favor and mercy on more than others, man. Okay. But Daniel's, they had an excellent spirit. And where did that spirit come from? Okay. Now you go into this word, it's Yah. All right, Yah in the Hebrew, and it says preeminent, surpassing, extreme, extraordinary, exceedingly, okay, extremely, man. Okay, so there's certain, Israelites that the Lord just has an excellent spirit on, and they have their favor. But those same spirits be loyal to Yahweh Shem Shah. They stand on business with integrity, honor. They show mercy. Okay, they not just wilding out because they have their favor. No, they, move in humility, man. Daniel moved in humility, man. you know. So you see, because matter of fact, let's get examples that, it's like when they went and got Daniel to interpret the the writing on the wall, many tekel. Okay. Let's find, see if I can find it real quick. All right, this is Daniel 5:17. It said, then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gifts be to thyself. Okay, pretty much keep your gifts, man. It says, and give thy rewards to another, yet I will read the writings unto the king and make known to him the interpretation. Because Daniel knew that they were speaking of the fall of Babylon. He's like, nigga, I tell you that for free. Keep your gifts. Okay? So he had an excellent spirit and he had favor of the Lord, but he wasn't there for self-gain. He's just serving the Lord in sincerity and humility, man. Okay? So let's which is the exact opposite of a lot of these clowns out here, man. All right, that you niggas love. Okay? This is Esther 2 and 10. It says Esther had not told anyone of her nationality and family background because Mordecai had discreted, all right, her not to do so. So Mordecai is running the show from the background. He's giving Esther the instruction of how to be. Don't let them know, all right, what you are yet, your nationality. Just keep being you, your natural, humble, self, okay? Well, don't let them know your nationality. So Mordecai is running things from the background, okay? He's putting the play together, okay? Because because Mordecai, the spirit on him to peep what's going on in the realm, okay? So he's coaching Esther up of how to be, okay? It says every day Mordecai would take a walk near the court of the harem to find out about Esther and what was happening to her. Before each young woman was taken to the king's bed, she was given the prescribed 12 months of beauty treatments, 6 months with oil of myrrh, followed by 6 months with special perfume and ointments, man. So it was a preparation. Okay? Like, as men, we're being prepared to be around Yahushua. Okay? You don't just pull up on the king. Okay? You're not just around the king, lackadaisical. No, you have to be trained up to be around the king. Okay? And this is what we're going through now. All right? That preparation phase. And these oils is this word, man. And as we apply this word and this becomes our lifestyle, we begin, all right, to we begun in that process of being trained up to be around Yahushua, man. Okay? Because as we, wait on the day of Yahushua, guess what? We still have more training to do. Okay? Because one of my favorite precepts is Philippians 1, okay, and 6. It says, being confident of this very thing, that he which had begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? So you go here and begun will perform, and the word perform.
Strong's G 2005. Epiteleo.
Mm-hmm. All right, epiteleo, it says to bring to an end, to accomplish, to perfect, to execute. Okay? To make an end for oneself. So Yahushua has begun to work within his elect. We're soaking in this oil, this word. Okay? And we should come out pleasing to Yahushua. But we got to go through the process. It's a thing of patience. We're constantly going through that process daily, man. Okay? And as we have been informed of what's pleasing to our power, we begin to indulge in that, man. Okay? So, going back to the book of Esther, chapter 2. Okay? It says, when it was time for her to go to the king's palace, she was given her choice of whatever clothing and jewelry she wanted to take from the harem. That evening, she was taken to the king's private rooms, and the next morning, she was brought to the second harem where the king's wives lived. There, she would be under the care of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch in charge of the concubines. She would never go to the king unless he had especially enjoyed her and requested her by name. So when it was time for you to go around the king, you had to put on. Okay? Hey, you had to be pleasing to the king to even be remembered. You see? It was way different than this shit here, where you have, all right, low quality women, but they inbox is full of niggas chasing them. No, completely different. Okay? For you to even be remembered by the king, you had to, you had to have a hell of a presentation, man. Okay? And then the spirit, that's why we can't be half-assed with the gift that the Lord gave us, man. Okay? We really gotta be tapped in. We can't do nothing halfway in this thing. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Baruch. Okay? It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 28. Okay? Well, I started 26. It says, I started 25. It says, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High. For thy enemy have persecuted thee, but surely thou shalt see his destruction, and thou shalt tread upon his neck. So every day in this captivity, we have to suffer. We have to remember why we're here. Okay? But the Lord has giving us, the privilege and the honor, to begin to prepare ourselves and make ourselves ready, for this great wedding. All right, the feast of the marriage supper of the Lamb. All right, this reuniting, okay, of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai and his people. Okay, this is Esther. She's going through the process of making herself ready. The Lord has given us the privilege in this captivity to begin that process, man. Okay, my delicate ones have gone rough ways. Okay, the transatlantic slave trade, the sub-Saharan slave trade. Okay, and were taken away as a flock caught by the enemies, Esau, Edom. You had Ishmael that was heavily involved in it as well. Okay, it says, "Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, and ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it were your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more." Okay, so we should be in the spirit of really putting on for Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Just as a woman who's trying to get back in the good graces of her husband, she should be in the spirit of putting on. Okay? You see? So, as we've been given this opportunity, okay, to come before the King, all right, because even now, we're able to come before the King in prayer. There was a time that we didn't even have the access to pray. We didn't know the names. We didn't know who to pray to. We didn't know what to pray for. Now we have the access. Okay? So as we've been presented with, particular access, we've been granted particular access back to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, we should have a mindset to go 10 times as hard, man, for our power. Okay? Because we went off. We need to be okay, forgiven. Okay? This is back in Esther 2. And 15 said Esther was the daughter of Abihail, who was Mordecai's uncle. Mordecai had adopted his younger cousin Esther. When it was Esther's turn to go to the king, she accepted the advice of Haggai. See, Esther is constantly listening. Every male in every male in this story, Esther is listening to. Okay, she's listening to the head eunuch. She's listening to Mordecai. Okay, she's listening to every male figure that's involved. Okay, Esther was the daughter of Abihail, who was Mordecai's uncle. Mordecai had adopted his younger cousin Esther. When it was Esther's turn to go to the king, she accepted the advice of Haggai, the eunuch in charge of the harem. She asked for nothing except what he suggested, and she was more admired by everyone who saw her. So the plan that Haggai, okay, gave her, the head of the eunuchs, she didn't veer. She didn't try to modify it. She went with their play. Okay? Mordecai told her not to reveal her nationality and her people. She stuck to their play. She didn't modify. She didn't try to add. She didn't try to, you see? She stuck exactly to the play of every man that was involved in the situation, man. She submitted to that exactly, man. Okay? It says Esther was taken to King Xerxes at the royal palace in early winter, all right, on the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther more than any of the other young women. He was so delighted with her that he set the royal crown on her head and declared her queen instead of Vashti. Okay? So you have to understand all these women that the king has been dealing with, because they all went through the same process. Okay? They all, he laid with all of them. So it wasn't, what was it? It was a spirit. Okay, it was a certain obedience that he's never seen before. Okay, it was a certain humility that he didn't seen before. Okay, because all the women was beautiful. Some a little more than others, but a lot of them were beautiful. But what made it stand out? It was their conduct. Okay, because even when you go into everyone talk about Proverbs 31, everyone's this virtuous woman, but when you get down, okay, and ultimately in the spirit is talking about, the elect, the men, beginning with the first fruits, being those virtuous women for Yahushua, okay, but on the carnal level as well. So when you read Proverbs 31 and 29, it said, there are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. All right. Now you read verse 30, said, charm is deceitful and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Okay. So it was Esther's conduct that gave her the edge, that humility, that submissiveness. Okay. And as you see through this whole chapter, she's listened to every male that was involved. She didn't buck up against nothing. And she didn't veer away from nothing that was told her to do. She was in complete agreement, man. Okay, and Xerxes saw this one like, God damn. Then she was bad, she was fine, so it was like, God damn. It was a no-brainer. Okay? So, going back to Esther, and then we'll get that. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2 and 17 again. And it says, and the king loved Esther more than any other young woman. He was so delighted with her that he set the royal crown on her head and declared her queen, all right, instead of Vashti. Okay? So you go here because what are we being prepared for? Okay? That was like a coronation, you know. This is Revelation, let's see, 19. Okay. Revelation 19 and 6. And this is, the post-destruction. All right. Revelation 19 and 6. And I heard as it were the voice of a great multitude and the voice of many waters, and as the voice of the mighty thunder, and saying, Hallelujah, for the Lord omnipotent reigneth. Okay. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife have made herself ready. Okay, and we're going through that process now of making ourselves ready. Okay, let's see what this word ready. All right, yep. In the Greek,
Strong's G 2090, hetoimazo.
hetomaso. Okay, it says to make ready, to prepare, to make the necessary preparations to get everything ready. And this is the sign. This is the time we in now. Okay, and you metaphorically said drawn from the Oriental custom of sending on before kings on their journey, persons to level the roads and make them passable. Okay, to prepare the minds of men to give the Messiah a fit reception and secure his blessings. I had to read that again. To prepare the minds. Okay, that's the thing that's being worked on. That's the thing that's being soaked in oils of this word, man. Okay, that's being beautified is our mindset. Okay, it says to prepare the minds of men to give the Messiah a fit reception and secure his blessings. Okay, so the conduct of Esther, that was to the king Xerxes, there was a fit reception, man. Okay, her mind was prepared. Okay, for to his liking. Okay, and this is the process we're going through, man. Okay, so also you go from there. Let's get this in Second Ezra 2. Okay, and 44. Second Ezra 2 and 40. I want to get straight to the point. I started 42. All right. Second Ezra 2:42, I Ezra saw upon Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praise the Lord with songs. And this is the 144,000 that's going to get crowned, and the rest of the 1/3 is going to be there, to see that crown. This is going to be a coronation. We're going to get that definition. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns. And this young man of high stature was Yahushua, showing you that we're going to be forever in our prime. Okay, over 2,000 years, he hasn't aged none. Okay, and it says taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? All right, so I asked the angel, said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, okay, their mortal way of thinking, okay, and also we're going to shed this mortal body and put on the immortal, but it begins with us putting on the immortal way of thinking. Okay, then we're going to obtain those immortal bodies and have confessed the name of the Most High and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive proms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So confessing the name and showing that we have to have those names. And we're going to call upon those names in these times that we're coming into. We're calling these names now. And much more, in the times of distress, man. Okay? It says, So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, Yahushua, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend those that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Okay, so Ezra is seeing a coronation. Okay, let's get back to that. Corn. All right. So you go here, it says a coronation. It says the ceremony of crowning a sovereign or a sovereign. They gave me, let's see, coronation. I want the one they gave in the AI overview. Oh man, they tripping. It was a definition I found yesterday. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, that ain't it. Hold on. See if I go to definition. See. All right. It says it says the coronation is a ceremony that marks a formal investure of a new monarch, okay, with their regal powers. Okay, so you seen Esther, she goes from being a subject, okay, in the kingdom, to having royal power now, because the office of a queen came with, authority. Now we didn't have queens because women didn't deal with the government affairs amongst Israel, but the heathens had that. Okay, so but in the spirit that's symbolic, she went from, a peasant, okay, a peasant girl, okay, to having royal power now. Okay, and we're gonna see how the Lord, works Esther, with their royal power. Okay, through Mordecai. It says it's a grand celebration that includes the presentation of royal objects and the placing of a crown on the monarch's head. Okay, and that's what we're fighting to get to, that holy coronation where Yahweh Shai is going to place those crowns. We're going to go from subjects in the kingdom of our enemy to kings in our own kingdom, man. Okay, it's a hell of a come up. Okay, and that's when you go back to the crucifixion. There was a mockery coronation that they did with Yahushua, where they put the crown of thorns on his head and put a robe on him. That was mockery. Okay? But hey, the Lord gonna get that lick back, you know. So going back here to Esther, finishing it out. It's the book of Esther, chapter 2. Okay, and in verse, what was it? Okay, this is Esther 2:18. It said, to celebrate the occasion, all right, he gave a great banquet in Esther's honor for all her nobles and officials, you know, which we just went into that marriage supper of the Lamb we're going to have. Okay, and it says, even after all the young women had been transferred to the second harem, and Mordecai had became a palace official. See, Mordecai became a palace official, so he came. As Esther is on the rise, Mordecai is on the rise too. You know, he creeping on the come up. Okay, it says Esther continued to keep her family background and nationality a secret. She was still following. Listen to this. She was still following Mordecai's directions, just as she did when she lived in his home. You gotta see how solid this is on Esther's behalf, man. She's the queen of the Persian Empire. Okay? You gotta understand what that is. She's the queen. She's in the top government rankings of the Persian Empire. Okay? But she still listened to Mordecai just like she did when she lived in his house, man, as a young girl. Okay? What type of humility is that? You see? Hey, our foremothers were cut from a completely different cloth, man. You see? Like we went into Susanna not too long ago. She would rather die than commit adultery, you know, on her husband, man. Cut from a completely different cloth, man. You know? Verse 21 says, one day, as Mordecai was on duty at the king's gate, two of the king's eunuchs, Bigthana and Tarash, who were guards at the door of the king's private quarters, became angry at King Xerxes and plotted to assassinate him. But Mordecai heard about the plot and gave the information to Queen Esther. She then told the king about it and gave Mordecai credit for the report. You see? Solid. Esther was solid, man. Okay? So Mordecai peeped the play against the king. He told Esther. Esther told the king, then gave Mordecai the credit for it, man. Okay? That's what you call selflessness. Okay? Let's look this word up, selfless. Okay? When you go into selfless, selfless is the opposite of selfish. If you're selfless, you think less about yourself and more about others. You're generous and kind. Being selfless is similar to being altruistic, another word of giving to others without looking for personal gain. Another word for giving to others without looking for personal gain. Okay? So she could have easily played like she peeped it and got in more favor with Xerxes, but no, she like, I'm gonna tell the truth. Like Mordecai put me on, you know. So when she said it, she gave all credit to Mordecai. She was good. She wasn't tripping on nothing else, man. You know, different. And see, when you go here, this Philippians chapter 2, I'm gonna read in NLT. This is Philippians 2:3. It says, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others better than yourselves. Don't look out only for your own interest, but take an interest to others too. You must have the same attitude that Yahushua HaMashiach had. Okay? And Yahushua was that great example, okay, of not looking for personal gain, but to edify. Okay? Daily he was teaching in the temple, always on the move. Okay? He didn't even have, you know, Yahushua really didn't even have a personal life. Okay? Because he was all about building up the disciples for when he was about to leave. Okay? He was the greatest example of selflessness, man. Okay, so that same mindset is the mindset we take on in this thing, man. You see? Let's go here. Let's get this in Proverbs. I think it's 2 in Proverbs chapter 15. Well, I'll jump straight to the point. All right. It says, Proverbs 22 and 4 says, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life, man. You know, and we are on their journey, you know, for riches, honor, and eternal life, man. It comes to humility, man. You know, humility go a long way, man. You know, humility go a long way, and we got constant examples of how the Lord blesses humility, man. You know. I think the next one is in 15 and Proverbs 15 and 33. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and 33. Said, the fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom. Okay, and what we see with Esther, she's taking on all instruction, man. Okay, she has a certain reverence for, you know, not only Mordecai but men in general. There's a certain reverence that she has. Okay, the fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility, man. You know, so before honor is humility, and that's, you know, what the process we're going to is humility, and then it's going to be honor. You know, that's what this thing is about, man. Humility, man. We gotta constantly examine ourselves, man, because it's so easy to get proud in this prideful world. Okay, so this verse 23, just to finish it out, it says, when an investigation was made and Mordecai's story was found to be true, the two men were impaled on a sharpened pole. This was all recorded in the book of the history of King Xerxes' reign. Okay, so yeah, that's part 2, you know, of this chapter 2 of the book of Esther. You know, Lord will, we just continue throughout, you know, the book, you know, because every chapter is a lesson, all right, that applies today, you know. So Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you sisters were edified. Once again, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.